Hey guys, what's going on? This time around I'm going to go into detail about how to optimize your DBM and your weak auras to help basically keep you alive, maximize DPS, know when stuff's coming up. By no means am I an expert in either of these add-ons. I've played around with them a little bit, and the knowledge I've gained is just strictly from me messing around in the menu. So let's just go ahead, jump right into it. The first one we'll talk about is going to be DBM. So if you do the \DBM as your chat command, you're going to open up the window just like that. So that's how you get into it. First thing that you're going to want to do is go into your options, general options. If you want to make it more accessible, you can show a minimap button. Anytime you click on this, it's just going to go ahead and open up your window, or you can just use the chat command. If you do show hide range frames, show hide info frame, and start test bars, you can go ahead and see here. This is where I have my stuff set up. So I have my incoming things off to the left of my character. I have, when it's 10 seconds or less, it'll transition over to the right. I'm using some of the features where it'll add animations to the bars. It just makes it catch my eye more. And then special commands will pop up directly up here, so it's in the center of my screen. When I'm in the instance doing stuff, it just makes it easier for me to access that information on the fly, make callouts. And then a big command will happen up here too. So I would recommend you, while you have your range frame and info frame up, go ahead and move them around so that they're where you want them to be. That way when they pop up in a fight, it's not like blocking out all your other shit and you're like, what the hell is going on? So general messages, this is essentially just going to be the stuff that pops up in your chat frame for you. Raid warnings. Biggest one, you do the move me. You'll see that you can, decide where you want this to be. So since this is raid warnings, that means like if someone does a raid warning that's like break in 5 or something like that, that's where that's going to display. It's not as important. At least I don't think it's as important. You can change the font. One of the add-ons I have, the KUI nameplates, comes with this Roboto condensed bold. I like it a lot. You can change what sounds when someone posts a raid warning. I just use the classic ding. Bar setup. This is going to be the first one that's pretty significant. I'm going to go back here and turn these off. Bar setup, move me. So as I mentioned, this is going to be your spells as they're far out, upcoming, whatever. This is where your berserk timer is going to be. This is where Fell Squall coming up is going to be. When there's less than 10 seconds left, it's going to transition over here for me. So it's going to just phase over, and then 10 seconds or less appear on this right side. So for me, that's allows me to discern what's going to happen, what's about to happen right now. So this is my call out window. This is the shit I look at it. I'm like, Fell Squall in 7, Fell Squall in 3, Fell Squall now. You can do a lot of customization, and it's going to be all about your personal preference. You can set up the different colors, you can set up animations. So general bar options, if you do DBM, you get the added animations. Font, obviously you want it to be accessible, easy for you to read. You can change the size of it, it'll reflect right here. Get it to be something that you like. Same thing with the bar height. Here's your added features. And a lot of this stuff, guys, is just you coming into the add-on, you playing with it, you seeing how it interacts for you personally, and you optimizing it so that You know, it's how you want it to be. Obviously, you know, in a raid environment, if it takes you 6 seconds to gather information that's coming at you, and if it takes 2 seconds to gather information that's coming at you, 2 seconds is going to be more ideal because it gives you more time to react on it, position better, do whatever you need to do. It could be the difference between you dying, it could be the difference between you bursting for 1.8 mil or only bursting for 1.2 mil, you know, whatever. So those are the things that you want to be aware of and take advantage of within the add-on here. Special warnings. So special warnings, I believe, would consist of stuff like, if you're thinking of Goroth, the infernal burning. So I have my position set here. You can change the text. So I really like this light blue. It contrasts usually with everything inside of TOS, so it's very easy for me to read it. You know, those are the things that I'm keeping in mind when I'm customizing font coloring and all of that. And as you can see here, there's a ton of different features. Again, all about your personal preferences. All about your personal preferences. Now, you hear that every time that pops, you hear this sonar sound. That's because it's associated with this example here. You can change, and I highly recommend you change the sound for special warnings. So like if it would be for affecting everyone. So for instance, the what would be a good one? I think the bowling ball. So the bowling ball is probably a beware. So when the bowling ball is coming up and I hear beware, I know that I associate that with the bowling ball ability. When, you know, infernal burning is coming up, I'm gonna hear the destruction, right? So this is where you can customize stuff like that. And it tells you here, so it's like sound for special warnings affecting you or your actions. Affecting everyone, very important. Run away. So like this would be your crashing comment. So, oh, I have crashing comment, let me get the fuck away from everyone else. That's what that one tells you. And the importance of this is that you know, knowing what you have set up, because there's a ton of features. Like, you don't have to use these default ones, like how I use that sonar being or whatever. You can use, that was a bad example, like a cat meowing. Yep, Cookie Monster. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can get into. So don't feel limited. And I do know that there's a sound pack add-on for DBM, so there's even more than just this. So have fun with it, set it up. Your flashes, that's going to be based on, like you'll notice, my whole screen's going to flash blue. So every time there's something that pops up when my screen flashes blue, I can associate that with, for me now, that probably consists of, I probably need to taunt. So I need to taunt off of Hulk. So when I see my screen flash like that, and I hear that sonar blip, then, you know, I'm going to analyze the situation in a split second, and the first thing that's going to come to mind is it's probably time for me to taunt. It's things like that that are just going to help you become a better player, increase your reaction time. Your heads-up display. This is not even a part of Raid. I really have no idea what this feature does. I've never really noticed it outside. So, yep. You can change your spoken alerts, health frame, extra features, etc., etc. So really the most time you want to spend is in bar setup. Biggest things you want to do is move your bars to where you'd like them to be. to really help optimize your optimize and streamline your information coming at you so that you can act on it quickly. Special warnings is going to be the other one. This is the one that's for like you know, just the general default categories, like affecting everyone, affecting you or your actions. So you get the idea. Again, come in here, play with it, interact with it. You'll see. To set it up for a fight-by-fight basis, you're going to come into bosses. You're going to go to Tomb of Sargeras, load your add-on if you're not already in the instance to mess with it. You can see some of your statistics here. Yeesh, we have 56 wipes on Goroth. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. It's funny that we have more wipes on the first boss than we do on some of these other ones, though. It's a hard fight, man. It's a hard fight. Alright, enough of all that. So then we're gonna expand Tomb of Sargeras. So let's say Goroth. I really want to know, whenever I get Crashing Comet, I have got to get away from everyone. So maybe run away, little girl. Oh, just kidding. So Crashing Comet for me by default, so probably for a lot of you, by default, is going to be Destruction. What you may want to do is come in here and just change that special warning from 3 to 4. Now you know, instead of just hearing Destruction, and you're like, okay, well, it's Destruction, whatever. When you hear Run Away, little girl, you know, okay, I need to get the hell away from other people. I have Crashing Comet. The other fight that I would recommend doing that for is come in here. Personal announces. I have Aqueous Burst on me. That's the one where I'm going to drop a puddle. If it's already on Destruction, go ahead and change it to Run Away, little girl. So Goroth, that's the first thing right there I would recommend. So Goroth, if you have Crashing Comet, just go ahead and change that to Run Away. Maybe you hear Run Away too much and you're just numb to that. A good one that I like a lot that's just super distinguishable is the Sonar. So you hear, and you just know. You know that you need to get the hell away from everyone else, right? So but that's totally up to you. Like, that's the whole point of this. And you can even turn off certain things. So feel like you're being too overrun with all of the information coming your way, and all you struggle with is the Crashing Comet. Like, you really want to know when the Crashing Comet's coming your way. So you want to turn off Shattering Star, because you just know. Like, you know when you get targeted with it, or you see the giant arrow, you know what you need to do. I'd probably say for Shattering Star too, that's the bowling ball. Go ahead and put that on the Run Away. The Infernal Burning, go ahead and, you know, that's a Destruction. Everyone's got to hide. So there's a lot of things that you can declutter. So like, let's say, you know, I leave a lot of stuff on because I try and help call out to help more people be aware. But, you know, if you're playing DPS and you're ranged, probably all you need to know is, you know, you want to know Shattering Star is coming up. You want to know when Infernal Burning is, just because it's the raid wipe mechanic. You want to know when Crashing Comet's coming up. Infernal Spikes, definitely, because, you know, it's going to target range. But like some of the other stuff you might not care about, so maybe you don't need like the countdown sound for burning armor or all that good stuff, right? So I mean, that's Deadly Boss Mods in a nutshell. You can see here that there's a ton of features that you can customize to help streamline it. I've done this on my bear tank just because, you know, I don't want to ever be responsible for dropping something in the middle of the raid that I shouldn't. So I go through, I look at the mechanics, and I decide which ones I really need to get the hell out of dodge for. So the next one that we're going to look at is Weak Auras. There's a lot you can do by default. So let's say for my Juggernaut, I want to see my stacks. So I think that I can do this if I just go into stack count. Maybe. So I think this text setting 1 right here is going to be my stat count. And like I said, I'm not an expert, so you can see there's a ton of features here. I think the weakauras developers actually put up guides on how to do stuff, so they'd probably be better to reference for this. But instead of messing with this, essentially what I'm going to do is show you the easiest things you can do is from template, right? So say you want to know, I'm trying to think of what I can compare it to for you guys. Want a huge icon, debuff, and if you're doing it from template, so like you get the idea, right? So like let's say you're in, I don't know, the sisters fight, and you want a debuff tracker for when you cross over, you get the debuff placed on you, and it'll show how long you have. So say you want to track that debuff so that if you cross over and you get the debuff because you had the astral purge, but then you need to cross back over to get to your next group, well, you want to make sure that you're waiting for your buff to fall off initially to begin with. So something like that might help you track that information. I know for me, I use, as you can see, you can track like your buffs, like avatars, a 20-second buff for me, so I can just track how long I'm within that window. Battle cry, same thing. Frothing berserker, same thing. It's all about you tracking it. I already have a couple of these made, and then once you're within it, you can customize, like you can add a glow to it. You can add cooldown text. So like let's say I want to see how long until this buff falls off, but I also want to know, yeah, okay, this is Juggernaut. I also want to know how many stacks I have, so I'm going to do we'll just do right. Actually no, top right. Yeah, I got that right. And then I want it to be outside, so it's going to be right here. I want to increase that text a little bit more so I can track my Juggernaut stacks. And then I want it to be, I really like this Robo condensed font. I want a color that is easily spottable in most of these instances. So let's do, there you go. Okay. Probably make that a little bit bigger. Perfect. You can zoom in on the image in the background. No point in that, in my opinion. You can change how big this container is. I did these from the default template, so they're all the same size, stacked up neatly next to each other. Just a quality of life thing. But say you want to go online and import a weak aura. So when I say go online, there's a website called wago.io, wago.io, and you can literally get weak aura templates for everything. So let's say I want utility. I want something for Sisters of the Moon. And now I'm just going to go shopping, right? So like I'm going to look through here and I'm going to find one that's useful for me. say I want this lunar beacon one, so this probably is going to notify me when lunar beacon's on me and I need to get the hell out of Dodge. Let's click on it and find out. Comments, no comments yet. And of course I can't look at the image. But essentially I wanted to see what this did, so copy LWI import string. Oh, this is actually for LWI. JK, that's not gonna work. We want weakauras. Damn it. Damn it, man. Let's look at Goroth. Again, don't claim to be an expert, just showing you, the different things at your disposal. But there's a ton of stuff here, right? So you can see, you get the idea. And if we go, so let's say I go to Warrior Fury. I'm just going to pick anyone to show y'all what I'm talking about. And we're going to do so this seems to be a very popular weak aura right here. And essentially what it's going to do is just give me everything that I need. So I'm going to copy the weak aura import string. I'm going to go back into my game. I'm going to go back to where I wanted to import. And if I'm here, I'm going to go new, import, Control V to paste it in there. It's going to pop up with this. I'm going to click import. Done. And now I have a fully customizable weak aura that shows when my Raging Blow, soft cooldown, it shows when my Bloodthirst is available, Avatar, Battle Cry, Commanding Shout, Odin's Fury, my charge counts, my Frenzied Regeneration, my Heroic Leap. And the way some of this stuff interacts, like if I Heroic Leap, just kidding, my chat window's open. If I Heroic Leap, goes on cooldown. Avatar goes on cooldown. Tells me how long I have the buff for. This is pretty nice. Boom. I now have Frothing Berserker. This is actually a really nice weak aura. This is my Rage Bar. So you can see that there's a ton of stuff out there that people have already created. You don't have to customize everything for yourself. So I would highly recommend you, if you feel that, something like this would be beneficial. And this tracks other things too. And then you can see everything that's within this subgroup right here in weak auras. So if you don't like everything, this is for, looks like, every single warrior spec. So this is a really nice weak aura. And it's just going to track everything for you. And it'll probably change based on my specs. So if I go to arms, this is probably going to all change defaultly. You see the potential that weak auras has behind it. Some people take a lot of time, and effort to make some really nice ones. But that is DBM and weak auras in a nutshell. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. That's kind of everything I wanted to go over. If y'all have, again, any requests or questions, feel free to reach out to people within the Discord channel. Ask your questions. You're not going to figure something out or learn it unless you research the topic. Ask the people at your disposal. There's a lot of knowledgeable people that can help assist with these things. So I hope that all of this was beneficial and I didn't waste anyone's time. Talk to y'all later.